All right, Christmas week. Welcome to the FNIA podcast. As always, we are presented by Lowe's. Coach Dungy, Rodney Harrison, Jac Collinsworth. Fellas, first of all, great to be with both of you. Second of
Yes,
all,
sir.
let's look at these Jags for a second. All of a sudden, the Jags beat the Broncos in the AFC. Only this year could this go down. What did you learn about the Jags in that game? I'll start with you, Coach.
I was not expecting this, Jack. And I said a week before, Denver probably my favorite to go to the Super Bowl because of their defense. And they went in there. Liam Cohn had a great plan. And what he showed me is if you can take care of that Denver pass rush and not let those guys harass your quarterback, you have a chance to move the ball on them. And Trevor Lawrence was outstanding, but I thought Liam Cohn and the plan was there. And they exposed some things with Denver. They really did.
I agree with you, Coach. I thought Trevor Lawrence, just the way he played with confidence, using his legs, was really the difference maker in that offense. But also, I think they've done a great job of getting playmakers around him. You talk about Parker Washington. He was outstanding. Jacoby Myers. And you look at their run game. It doesn't have outstanding numbers, but a very respectable ground game when it comes to ATN. So I like what they're doing and where they're headed.
Yeah, enough of a running game that they couldn't just tee off and rush the passer. They had to honor the run game. They had to honor Lawrence getting out of the pocket and moving. And he got the ball to a lot of different people. So it was really, really impressive. And it threw this AFC to me in a little turmoil, Jack.
Hey, Coach, one last point about Liam Cohen. And one thing that he's brought, he's instilled this kind of this quiet cockiness that they haven't had.
No, not quiet. Not quiet.
He has. He kind of talks his talk, doesn't he? Yeah, he does it in a unique way, but he plays on all that, the small market stuff. And Sean Payton talks about they're a small market, but they're pretty good. But like you can tell there's a rallying cry. There's a sense of weird disrespected that he's playing into, which may be the right way to do it, Coach, is it?
Yeah. No, when their players come out after the game and say, we don't want anybody jumping on the bandwagon now, you can tell that's been pumped into them, that they've been told, hey, you're not very good. People don't think highly of you. We're going to prove everybody wrong. And that's kind of their rallying cry. And it's been impressive.
I tell you, man,
you ever use that, Coach? You ever use the word disrespected?
I did. I did when we made our Super Bowl run. Our defense was struggling, and Sterling Sharp was actually on and said, we'll never get to a Super Bowl with that defense. I did remind our guys of that several times during the playoffs.
Hey, Jack, I built a 15-year NFL career off of disrespect, so absolutely.
Playing a little angry seems to work. Playing a little angry in the game of football, it seems to work. I mean, even Tom Brady to me always kind of seemed like he liked to feel like he was disrespected. Is that true too?
It is. It's the edge. And once you lose that edge, and let me tell you always have to have that edge no matter how many things that you accomplish, no matter how much money you get. And when guys lose that edge, Coach, that's when they lose it.
Yeah. I heard a story about you guys' Super Bowl game against the Eagles. And Coach Belichick coming in and saying, well, here's their parade plans. They got a parade plan. And who do they think they are?
Oh, my. And he used it perfectly, Jack. Oh, they're planning a parade. I guess you guys might as well not even show up to the game. And, oh, man, we were boiling. We were ready to run through a brick wall. But he used it, and it was smart.
Yeah, that's it. Master motivators. Different tactics, but hey, whatever works. Right now, it seems to be working for the Jags. Let's get down to the Patriots team we're just referencing. The win over the Ravens. They're down 11 points with 12:50 to go in this game and just storm back. Rod, what's your feeling about the Patriots coming out of that game and the way they won it?
You know what, man? It's all about the guys in that locker room. And when we had Diggs on, he talked, we saw his leadership. We saw his intensity. And he talked about Mike Vrabel. And it starts with Mike Vrabel, but also the trust that Mike Vrabel has with all the guys within that locker room, man. And this is a team that can play. They believe in one another. They sacrifice. They work extremely hard. And they're missing some guys on the defensive side. That's my biggest concern with them. Can they consistently stop the run? Because because if the Ravens would have run the ball 30 times with Derrick Henry, the Patriots would have lost that game.
Yeah, no, that is the question mark coming out of it. But I tell you, I went on our pregame show and I said, this is a measuring stick game for me. I want to see what these Patriots are made of. Can they do it in the big moment? And I was at their hotel Sunday morning, and I switched my pick after being there. I was going to take Baltimore. And I just felt the confidence of this group, what they talked about their leader and Drake May and what they were going to do. And you saw that down 11, doesn't matter. We feel like we can do it. We're not giving up. We're fighting all the way through. And that is going to be a good thing for them coming up in the playoffs. But I'm like Rod, I worry about the injuries to that defensive line. When you get in that pressurized situation that's cold and the other team's pounding the ball, can they stop them and not put too much pressure on their secondary?
The one thing they are telling me is they're not far away from Milton Williams coming back and even Robert Spillane. If they get those two guys back in the interior of that defense, coach, it's totally different.
That will help them. Definitely will help them. Let me go to the other side of the field just for 1 minute, though, because I'm still upset about this. You're the Baltimore Ravens, and I know you went into it with a plan. We're going to alternate our backs. We got one big, strong, powerful guy, and we've got one fast guy. Well, our powerful guy is averaging 7 yards a carry. Our fast guy is averaging 1.4. Now it's the fourth quarter. We've got the lead. We're trying to protect the lead. Rodney, who are you putting in the game? Are you going to say we're going to stick with our plan and just alternate, or are you going to play Derrick Henry and close the game out?
I'm going to play Derrick Henry, and I said it in the pregame show. I said the Patriots cannot stop this run game if they give it to Derrick Henry. Nobody wants to tackle him. The linemen don't want to tackle him. The linebackers, the safeties, the secondary guys, they want no part of Derrick Henry. And to me, if I'm the Ravens organization, you got to start trying to reevaluate this coaching staff and what's going on here, the entire coaching staff, because there's no excuse for Derrick Henry not to be in the game. Jack, Coach, we're looking at each other and saying, where's Derrick Henry? And I was like, okay, Harbaugh has to go to the, and you like, no, he just tell him to get in the game. Understand it.
I know.
No, I could not believe it. Could not believe it. Yeah, he scores with 12:50 to go, puts you up 2 scores. Now I get it. If you stay up 2 scores, yeah, you put the other guy in. But now when New England scores and you got to protect the lead, you're going to run the ball at the end of the game. You got to. They had proven all night they couldn't stop him. You got to have him in the game.
Coach, at that point in time, at juncture, at the game, where they're at in the season, why is it that imperative to get Keaton Mitchell into the game? He's just not that integral part of a game. Put Derrick Henry in there and finish the Patriots. That's all you have to do, and the Patriots would have been done.
Yeah. The explanation to me was not even close to suffice. The explanation immediately was, we're part of this standard running back rotation. It's like, LeBron James has 36 points and he's not playing in the fourth quarter. I mean, that was what it felt like. And that was when you didn't have Lamar Jackson. You had one star on offense. And Zay Flowers was playing well too, but you had one star on offense. And as a head coach, I for the life of me, I don't know how you could look at the field when every NFL fan, every Ravens fan, every player on your team is going, where's Derrick Henry? And not put him in.
What are we doing?
I don't understand.
Hey, guys, did you hear Isaiah Likely after the game, how he was talking about the team, and you guys didn't catch that?
I did not see that.
He was basically saying we are trash. We're trash, but he used some cuss words. We are trash, but basically, yeah, that's what he said.
Well, everybody had to be disappointed, and it just, to me, not having your best player in crunch time just doesn't make any sense. And I don't care how you slice it, and this was our plan. No, not when one guy's averaging 7 yards a carry, the other guy's averaging 1 yard a carry. It just didn't make sense.
Coach, I'm going to tell you what happens next. And don't be surprised in the offseason if Derrick Henry requests a trade, because I'm going to tell you, I know he felt significantly betrayed in that situation. I mean, he's sitting there, you saying, you got this guy in? I'm Derrick Henry. All the work that I put in the offseason is for this very moment. And it's selfish because it's not right to the teammates. It's not right to his teammates. They're out there busting their butts, trying to put themselves in a position to have success, and you're not putting the best players out there. It's ridiculous, Harbaugh.
let me ask you this, Rod, because you said Derrick Henry. What about Lamar Jackson? Would it shock you if Lamar Jackson is no longer a Raven? Most of that guaranteed, really, the guaranteed money on that contract now is gone. Not a good year. They haven't won anything with Lamar. I know he's won MVPs. They haven't won anything, even playoff games with him, and they've had really good rosters around him. What do you think about Lamar?
I would almost, coach, go to Lamar and say, hey, I need a full commitment from you. I need you here in the offseason. I need you at OTAs. If you can make that commitment, we'll put that in the contract. We want you here. We want you to be part of this, but you have to be part of the total offseason program. You can't pick and choose when you decide to come. Either you're all in or we're gonna move on, coach.
Yeah, and I think as long as John Harbaugh's there, that Lamar Jackson will be there. You built your team around this. You structured the offense around Lamar. It'd be tough to tear it down now and take him out and now try to change over the style of play that you're going to play. I think they're stuck on this path and they've got to make it work. But if you're on this path and you're trying to win games in the fourth quarter, put your big back and win the game.
Simple as that. So that's a coaching thing. That's not a personnel thing.
Yes. My opinion.
I'll tell you this, Coach, and I'm curious both your perspectives on this, but I was thinking this on the flight home, and you guys really got after Harbaugh in the postgame, and I think rightfully so. What about Derek, though? And I know Derek is a really nice and polite guy, one of the most I've ever been around. But to me, I'm looking at Harbaugh and saying, Coach, I got to be in the game. I got 150 plus yards and a couple touchdowns. What are we doing? Like I think LeBron would have walked to the scorer's table and gone in.
But I'll tell you a quick story about,
go ahead.
About that, Jack. We were playing in Denver in overtime my first year in Indianapolis, and we're about the 40-yard line. It's a long field goal, and I send the punt team out there. Mike Vanderjagt came to me and said, do you want to keep playing or do you want to go home? If you want to go home with a win, let's kick the field goal. I called timeout. We kicked the field goal. He made it 53 yards, and we went home with a win. And you're exactly right. Sometimes the player has to talk a little sense into the coach.
Yeah, and sometimes it just depends on the personality of the player. Me, I'm going in. Coach Belichick, you got to put me in. Are you crazy? It's goal line. Yeah. I'm going to him. But Derrick Henry is more laid back. He's a team-oriented guy, very kind of almost quiet and shy to a certain degree. But I mean, the guy has a good heart, coach, and he wants to be out there, and that's just not his personality.
Yeah. No, it's not, and it shouldn't have to be on. I'm surprised some of those defensive players didn't go there. Warren Sapp, that's another one. I promise you, Warren Sapp would have been in my face saying, what is he doing over here next to you? Get him in the game.
Yeah, that's just like, I'll give you an example for us. If Corey Dillon, when we had Corey Dillon, if he wasn't in the game, we're looking at Coach Belichick, man, you better put this dude in the game. He's our Pro Bowl running back. He's our guy. Get him in the game.
Yeah. It was surreal. It was surreal. It was surreal. And they better hope that they get some kind of late season magic here, whether it's the DK, Metcalf-less Steelers find a way to lose to, Cleveland. They need some crazy something to get in. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a loud all season in Baltimore. Yeah. You guys good on the Ravens? Anything else? Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. Just speaking on DK Metcalf, man, as players, you got to be able to ignore the people in the stands, Coach. I mean, they say some really bad, some evil things, but at the end of the day, it's not worth the risk going over there, being out there without your teammates for 2 games, getting fined, not getting collecting that check over that. You let a fan get you that upset.
You can't. You got to be focused in on the win. And I know we've all heard rude stuff. We've heard crazy stuff. You've got to be focused in on the field. And what this reminded me of, this was George Pickens 2.0. Guys playing well. You're in a big game. You're winning. And now you do something that just lets your team down. You can't do that, DK. You just can't do that.
You can't have that meltdown, Jack.
The interesting thing, too, about this one is if I'm the Lions, I'm ticked off. I'm like, man, so he ends up playing the rest of this game against us. We still got to play against him, even though it happened in this game. And then he gets suspended the next 2. You know what I mean? It happened in this game, and there's no punishment until after it. I guess that's just the life of this type of offense, Coach.
It is. That's the way it goes, and that's the way it's handled most of the time. And to be honest, suspensions have not been the precedent. It's been fines. And so I think this is the NFL sending a message and sending a message to our fans. Hey, we're going to do something about this. We're not going to let this happen. You can feel safe coming to games. And I think they're telling all the players, hey, don't make this mistake.
Hey, players were rather paid a fine as opposed to getting suspended. Players want to play because you hurt your teammates.
DK, if they'd have fined him $1 million, he'd have been okay with that. But don't take me off the field for 2 games. And I think that's the message the NFL is sending. You cannot go in the stands. You can't have these interactions. Guys, we got to stop this right now.
Coach, those 2 games, that's his $1 million. Unfortunately, you know.
It is. And the more reading I was doing in his contract, it may end up being more than that.
Yes,
just
could be huge.
Upheld.
Could be
huge.
Get
into those total guarantees of that deal, Coach, which is way, way more than that. Interesting. What about the Steelers? Let's get to the game as a whole. Coach, what did this win tell you about Pittsburgh?
You know, I just watched a clip of Aaron Rodgers navigating that play to Gainwell. And it was amazing. He's talking to him the whole time. Hey, I want you to run an option route here. I think they're coming. No, motion out of the backfield and run a go route. The way he has taken over this offense and the life that he's brought to them, leadership position, quarterback, and they believe in him. This could be something special for Pittsburgh. It really could.
Yeah, and I look at Mike Tomlin, too, just him and Aaron Rodgers and Cameron Hayward walking off the field. It just shows me how much he's relying on that. You saw him talking, hugging those guys. Yeah. And really, those are his guys. Those are the guys that he really looks to really solidify the locker room, man. And just that short, quick passing game, Coach, and just how physical they were. And I tell you, man, Gainwell and Warren, those little dudes have provided a big spark for that offense.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that picture told me, Rod, was the respect that they have for Mike Tomlin. And I think that's what kind of turned this thing around. Okay, you're talking about firing our coach? No, we're going to have some meetings. Aaron had his offensive guys in meetings, and Cam had the defensive guys. Hey, no, this is not good enough. We have got to protect our coach.
That's what happens when you love and care about your coach. You go that extra mile. You say, okay, guys, we're going to come here. We're going to go extra 30 minutes on our meetings. We're going to do all the little things it takes.
And the Steelers fans better take a little medicine on this, too. I mean, you're talking about 22 consecutive seasons without a losing season. That is impossible. And you look at everything that's happened since Ben Roethlisberger has left, all the different quarterbacks. They tried some, and drafted some, haven't got it right, and he still found a way to not have a losing season. Like, look at the Bengals this year. Look at the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. They're having a losing season. Like, you want to let Mike Tomlin go? 2 teams in your division will hire Mike Tomlin. That's the way I look at it. Forget about the rest of the league. 3 teams. The Browns will be in line to hire him. It would be that fast.
Yeah. No, it would. All 3 of those teams would. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yep. So, okay, let's move it on down.
Hey, Jack, no. Before we leave this game, Jack, I want to go to the other side. I want to go to Detroit for a second. My hometown team, okay? I was in there early in the season talking to Dan Campbell, and he told me 2 things. He said, number 1, everything starts with us up front in the running game. And then number 2, I asked him about, you're rolling the dice and you're the gambler, 4th down. Yeah, that's my personality. I'd do it again. Well, the first drive of the game, you get to the 3-yard line, 4th and 3. That is not the time to show that you're the gambler. Kick the field goal, take the points early in the game that figures to be low scoring, get that done. And then you've got these 2 great backs, and you run for 15 yards in the whole game against the Steelers, who've been not very good against the run all year. Come on, Dan. Let's be Dan Campbell and do this right now.
Yeah, you just have to be smart. Every single time you get down to a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 2 doesn't mean that you have to go forward. You have to figure out the right situation for your team. And sometimes your offense, your team needs that field goal. They need that 3 points because they've worked so hard to get down there, and they don't want that disappointment. So, yeah, Coach, I believe he has to be smarter on 4th downs.
Yeah. So you kick that field goal there. Then at the end of the game, you only need 2 points instead of 5. And you just play for the field goal, kick the field goal, and you win the game.
Makes a huge difference.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question that is a tough one to answer. Probably tougher this year than in the last decade. Maybe more than that. The best team right now in the AFC is, and I'll start with you, Coach. Who do you think?
Well, last week I said Denver. 2 weeks before that, I said New England.
Oh,
And,
my
you know,
goodness.
I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one out of left field, but if I'm
Chargers.
rolling the dice, no, Houston Texans. They got a big game this week, but I like Houston where they've come. I like the way that defense is. CJ's playing better. They're in the 7th spot right now. I don't know any of those teams above them that would want to play them right now.
I would say New England and Houston. I would have those two teams as my top. Houston with that defense is ridiculous, but I do believe that New England with that powerful offense, and then they got those two guys coming back eventually on the defensive side. Yeah, it's hard to go against Denver right there, but that loss was significant to me.
Yeah, at home, you know, when our Super Bowl year, we had some ups and downs, but we never lost a home game. We always took care of that home field. And for them to, in a game that was meaningful, at home, not get the job done in December, that throws up some red flags for me.
And guys, when we talk about Denver, the one thing I always say about Denver, if that defense has one bad day and that offense has to carry the team, they're going to struggle. And that's what happened.
I think the Texans are one of those sleeper teams right now too, that nobody's really focused on, and they're slipping right down there at the bottom of that AFC playoff picture. But who the heck plays better defense than the Texans? And then if you get Stroud heating up, gosh, that's a team you can trust on both sides of the ball. How about Jacksonville? That's another team that, you know, people are talking about. You know, maybe they didn't have the same hype. Maybe you didn't really know what they were going to be coming into the year. But as they get it rolling again, Coach, and they had some speed bumps in the middle of the year, but as they get this thing rolling, why not trust the Jags?
They're playing good ball. They're on a little streak here. Again, this is a team, though, that I have to see in those big moments and see how they are. Liam Cohn has done a really, really good job with them. They're playing solid defense. They could be right there. The AFC is wide open, and I don't think there is a favorite, and they could be right there with the top teams.
Translation, we need to see more of Trevor Lawrence in the big moments because we don't really trust him until he proves that until he proves it, basically.
Yeah, almost similar to the NFC and Sam Darnold, right? I mean, it's like, you've seen it. You saw in the regular season.
Yeah.
Want to see
a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Good call on that, Jack.
Yeah. Okay, let's move it on down. Holiday wish list. It is a couple days before Christmas here. The holiday wish list, take this any direction you may, please. For the Packers, Coach, would be what?
If I could give them a gift, it would be a miracle rehabilitation of Micah Parsons. Get him back for the playoffs, because I don't think their defense can do it without Micah. He just brought so much to them. Their confidence level was sky high. I don't see that now. It's going to be a tough road for the Packers.
Coach, I agree with you, and it's amazing how one player makes such a big difference, and just the speed of their defense and how fast he is and how much of a nuisance he is on the defensive side of the ball. That injury right there keeps them out of the potential Super Bowl.
Yep. I feel like this happened. Please, Coach.
I was going to say one thing with Green Bay that they saw last week that could help them down the road. Malik Willis brings a little bit different thing. So if I'm them, maybe I'm coming in with him at certain times, bring that read option in, make them have to defend two different types of offenses because they don't know what they're going to get. I was really impressed with the way he played, and that would start my mind rolling if I'm Matt LaFleur.
Wow.
Yeah, it seems like it settles their offense down, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He seems a lot more mature and very comfortable out there. I like that plan.
Yeah. All right. Holiday wish list for the Rams, for the LA Rams. Rod, I'll start with you on this one.
Well, I would give them a healthy Devontae Adams, because I know that hamstring could last 2 or 3 weeks. It could potentially last a month, but a healthy Devontae Adams, they have 1A and one receiver, 1B healthy. They will be tough to beat in the playoffs, Coach.
Yeah. And what I'm going to give them for a gift is a big sack with about 4 special teams players in it. They fired their special teams coach. I don't think that was the problem. Okay, get some guys who can cover punts, get a kicker who can make kicks and block for field goals. They've lost 3 games on special teams this year. Get those special teams squared away, and they're going to be tough to handle.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Okay, special teams. I came in a little surprised for the holiday. Holiday wish list for the Philadelphia Eagles, coach.
For me, it is get Jalen Hurts back involved in the running game. Get him with some design runs, get him scrambling more. Okay, Jalen, you protected yourself all year. I get that. Now we're in the playoff time. Bring old Jalen Hurts back out and let's go.
I would say I'm going to go with a healthy offensive line. They needed to make a run, get back, give Saquon Barkley the ball 20 to 25 times a game, run on that left side of that offensive line and commit to it and add Jalen Hurts into that, the RPOs, the design quarterback plays.
Sounds like you might be asking for a gift for my offensive coordinator and how to call the game.
I think you're exactly right. So the best team in the NFC, we did the AFC, now the best team in the NFC, coach.
I still am leaning towards the Rams. I really am. And they're down there in that 6th spot now. But think about it. Seattle's in the number 1 spot. They beat Seattle once, and they had a 16-point lead in the 4th quarter against Seattle the second time with no Devontae Adams. Nakua's playing great. They've got pass rushers on the defensive side. I think they're all there, and they've got that veteran quarterback. I would look out for the Rams in this playoff season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach. I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're sitting there at the 6th seed, and I think they should be the number 1 seed. Scary team to play. Like you talked about, all the weapons on the offense. They got pass rushers on the defensive side of the ball. That secondary is going to have to hold up on the outside with those cornerbacks. That's going to be the telltale for them.
Yeah, running out of playoff spots in the NFC. Gary, if you don't mind, our producer, Gary, you put that back up one more time. I mean, running out of spots. Clinched, NFC East, clinched. So that means Green Bay right there, and then you have Tampa Bay and Carolina coming down to Week 18, coach.
Yeah, and I don't see the Ravens rebounding from this. I see Green Bay winning that game, get to 10-5-1. They'll lock up that spot, and then it's going to come down to Tampa Bay and Carolina. I think that'll be the last game of the year in Tampa, and I give Tampa the edge right there. I think they'll take the last spot.
Yeah.
Detroit's toast, and Tampa will win Week 18.
Yep. Okay, so we keep it in the NFC here. Bears 49ers is Sunday Night Football this week. A lot on the line, both directions, just because you think about where the Bears are right now at 11-4, but the 49ers still in play for that 1 seed. And they think if they win this game and they win against Seattle in Week 18, coach, they could be the 1 seed given everything this team has been through this year. Unbelievable.
That is really amazing. And we talked earlier, Kyle Shanahan has done a great job getting these guys to hang in there. But you've got 2 home games left, and you win them, you're the number 1 seed. And I would not bet against these guys. They are playing good football. They believe in what they're doing. Christian McCaffrey is fresh. He's healthy. You know, he's had some injury issues. The one big thing is, to me, how is George Kittle going to be? Because they need not only his ability, they need his energy out there Sunday night.
Coach, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just about to speak to George Kittle because you watch him on the field going out for passes. He is extremely fast, but you also see him throwing a guy out the club on the sideline, throwing him 5-10 yards on the sideline. I'm like, this dude is an absolute animal. But yeah, he's definitely a difference maker. The Bears are playing with a lot of confidence. That's going to be a tough trip going on the West Coast, playing against this physical team, the 49ers. I'm not going to tell you who I'm picking tonight or right now, but it's going to be a very physical game, Jack, and that'll be the difference.
It is. And I'll tell you guys, I was actually in Chicago in their building doing some interviews, and they have a belief. And yes, they've been down in so many games, and they're winning on the last drive, but they believe in their quarterback. They believe in their coach. They believe that they're physically tough. They feel like they can get a takeaway, a turnover anytime they need it on defense. And there's something in that building that it's complete 180 from how it was last year, and you have to give Coach Johnson and that coaching staff credit. But this is going to be a phenomenal game. It really is.
a bigger surprise this season, Bears or 49ers? Hard
Bears.
question. Okay,
That's
Bears.
not a hard question. I would say Bears 100% with the young quarterback and the new head coach coming in, and the first move he made was to sign three basically interior offensive linemen. I think it's the Bears, Coach.
I definitely agree with you. San Francisco, they've had the injuries to deal with, but I didn't think the Bears turnaround would come this quick. They were in disarray last year after the Hail Mary where the guys looking in the stands. They just
George Stevenson, yep.
And so now to come back and be in the playoff hunt, maybe win your division and have that confidence level where it is, I think that turnaround is the biggest surprise to me.
Okay, I'm going to do something really stupid, and I'm going to disagree with two legends here. I think the Bears were a team that was momentum. It was, Caleb's now got a few years under his belt. This head coach comes over from Detroit. We all know can coach. Like the momentum, new offensive line, new pieces on the outside, new tight ends. And then you look at San Francisco, and it's more of an erosion of this roster. Then Bosa goes out. Fred Warner goes out. Hufunga's in Denver. Greenlaw's in Denver. Brandon Ayuk not showing up for work. Ricky Pearsall's been hurt. George Kittle's now hurt. Debo Samuel's gone. Brock Purdy gets hurt. Mac Jones comes in. Come on. And they're playing for the 1 seed in San Francisco. I know the brand value, but they don't have the players, and they're still right there. So
you still had Brock. You still had, hold on, Jack. You still had some foundational players. You had Brock Purdy. You still had George Kittle. You still had Christian McCaffrey. You still had the left tackle Trent Williams. And Kyle Juszczyk and those guys. So you've had foundational players. Yes, you are.
Purdy missed most of the year.
I know, but what I'm saying, he was around them. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, I think you have that tradition, you have that locker room, and you've got those leaders there, and they've been there and they've done it. And yeah, we don't have our players, we don't have everybody, we can still do this. In Chicago, they hadn't done it and didn't know if they could do it. They thought they could, they believed, but to me, to turn it around that quick, amazing. I still don't know who I'd vote for Coach of the Year because I agree with you. What Kyle Shanahan has done, keeping that together, has been phenomenal.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference I see, the culture was already established in San Francisco, whereas the Bears culture, it was unknown. Like, we don't know who Ben Johnson is. Yeah, we know he's an excellent play caller, but what is his personality? So when he comes in, he gets the trust of that locker room, just like Vrabel did, and those guys absolutely love him. But not only that, he had to deal with a guy that had a quarterback that had a lot of bad things in him. Caleb Williams, fundamentally, he was not sound, Jack. So Ben Johnson came in and had to turn that whole thing around.
Yeah.
And if you went into this season and you said, who's going to win the NFC North? Everybody would have said Detroit. All right, well, who's going to be second? Probably Minnesota. Who's going to be third? Well, probably Green Bay. There was not one person in America that was going to say the Chicago Bears are going to win this division.
Including Jack.
Yeah. But I also remember us talking about San Francisco when we went up there before the preseason and they're not going to make the playoffs.
Big trouble. Yep.
They're in big trouble,
we thought.
And I think even Shanahan entering the year had major concerns about how the heck am I going to do this? And so to me, there are two Coach of the Year candidates in completely different directions. One hanging on to the pieces and figuring out a way to make it go on the fly, and the other completely flipping what an organization is, and Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
So bottom line, it's impressive on both sides. And I can't wait to talk about both sides of these two teams going into Sunday night. Fred Warner going to join us on Sunday Night Football pregame as well. And so that's going to be, for me, really a fun day. I'm looking forward to it.
And a game that could determine the number 1 seed, could determine who's going to win the NFC North. I mean, this is a huge, huge game. I can't wait.
Man, coming off one of the best Week 16s in NFL history into Week 17, we go. Merry Christmas to you both. I appreciate your guys' time this week, and off to San Francisco we go.
All right, let's go.
Guys.
All right, FNIA, we are out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.